I wanted to share an excerpt from James Madison. This was April 20th, 1795. So this would have been the second year, if I'm remembering correctly. No, the fourth year of the George Washington administration. So James Madison at that point in time was, what, Secretary of... Jefferson was Secretary of State. Madison, no, he wasn't Treasury. That was Hamilton. Well, whatever he was. He writes, of all the enemies of true liberty, war is, perhaps, the most to be dreaded because it comprises and develops the germ of every other. War is the parent of armies, and from these proceed debt and taxes, and armies and debts and taxes are the known instruments for bringing the many under the domination of the few. A quote, by the way, that conservatives love because he mentions taxes. But it continues, and it gets really, really interesting, because this is, in my opinion, this is exactly why George W. Bush took us to war. In war, too, the discretionary power of the executive, the president, is extended. The president's influence in dealing out offices, honors, and emoluments is multiplied, and all the means of seducing the minds are added to those of seducing the force of the people. The same malignant aspect in republicanism, in other words, this new country, this is a, war is a cancer, right? The same malignant aspect in republicanism may be traced in the inequality of fortunes and the opportunities of fraud that grow out of a state of war, and in the degeneracy of manners and of morals engendered in both. No nation, James Madison wrote, no nation can preserve its freedom in the midst of continual warfare. War is, in fact, the true nurse of executive aggrandizement. Look at what happened when George W. Bush illegally, in my opinion, and, well, in the opinion of the United Nations as well, declared 2 wars against countries that had not attacked us. And, one of which had absolutely nothing to do with the attack on us. War is, in fact, the true nurse of executive aggrandizement, of the aggrandizement of the presidency. In war, a physical force is to be created, and it is the executive will which is used to direct it. That's because the Constitution makes the president the commander-in-chief of the military. He says, in war, the public treasuries are to be unlocked, and it is the executive's hand which is to dispense them. In other words, the president gets to build up his armies and have his military. Right now, you're hearing Donald Trump talking this way. Oh, we got to rebuild our military, yeah. In wars, the honors and emoluments of office are to be multiplied, and it is the executive patronage, that would be the presidential branch, the executive branch patronage, under which they are to be enjoyed, and it is the executive brow they are to encircle. The strongest passions and most dangerous weaknesses of the human breast, ambition, avarice, vanity, the honorable or venal love of fame, are all in conspiracy against the desire and duty of peace. In other words, a president who is ambitious, avaricious, greedy, vain, and has a venal love of fame will want war. That's a conspiracy against the desire and duty of peace. Desire and duty of peace being, of course, us. So, anyhow. Oh, he was a congressman for Virginia at that time. Thank you. Thank you for that, Troy. Troy Miller knows everything, or knows how to find it quickly.